in the Bible Radio. Yes, we are here back again with Judges. Part 5, this is the final part. The final part will take us right to the end. We're going to look and see what happened. We saw Samson. We saw what happened with him. Birth all the way to death. It's in the book of Judges. Yeah, plenty of other good information out there too. That's in the book of Judges that you probably need to know. You need to study it. If not, you know where we are. Listen. That's it. Yeah. You need to listen. Check it out. See it live on screen right here to Understand the Bible Radio, where there's no tithing, no seed sowing, no products sold here. Period. None. You understand? No money. This is about the true purpose. God the Father, by way of the Lord God, his begotten Son. Yes. Got some more studies coming up soon. Trying to get some guests on to talk, to discuss. Give you the information. Here it comes.
This is in-depth study of the Christ, the propitiation, the begotten Son, the Lord,
the Savior,
the Judge, the Ruler, the Standard,
the Word,
the Messiah, Yeshua HaMashiach, the One, the true Jesus Christ.
the truth,
Here on
life.
Understanding the Bible Radio, on-screen study, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, on-screen undeniable facts of Scripture.
Yes, it's Understanding the Bible Radio. We are back again, final part of Judges. We're going to go through 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. Then we will be, I think Alina wants me to call her, to bring her in for this last part. So it may go over an hour. And we're going to look at it, though. There's plenty of good information in here. You need to know it. Like it, share it. It's totally up to you. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification. Let you know when we are doing another study live. This is not pre-rehearsed. I didn't write anything down. No, didn't read through it at all. I'm learning it right along with you. Right along with you. Please post in the comments or the chat here on the YouTube. Say hello. I want to say hi to you. I see you there. I want to say hi to you. It's good to see you. Alina will get back to me. Let me know if she wants me to call. She wants to join in. Okay. Let's see here. Let's go to Judges. This is Judges 17. We just got through with Samson. And remember, Samson was really born for the purpose of God, which is to bring Israel out, to continue on in his purpose with them. He's still striving with them. Even though earlier on in Judges, he told them to go ask your other gods to save you. You know, I'm not going to save you. Go ask them. You keep running to them. You want to be with them. They're committing spiritual adultery on him. Spiritual adultery is what they're doing. They claim that they were going to be his wife. They will do all that he has said, and they're not doing it. They didn't. Their parents didn't do it, and they're not doing it. So let's go. Verse 1. And there was a man of Mount Ephraim whose name was Micah. Okay, Micah. And he said unto his mother, the 1,100 shekels of silver that were taken from thee, about which thou cursedest and spakest of also in mine ears, behold, the silver is with me. I took it. And his mother said, Blessed be thou, Lord, my son. And when he had restored the 1,100 shekels of silver to his mother said, I had wholly dedicated the silver unto the Lord from my hand for my son, to make a graven image and molten image. Now, therefore, I will restore it unto thee. Now, see, she's not supposed to be making a graven image or a molten image because she doesn't know the Lord, because her parents didn't teach her of the Lord when she was born through the generations after they came into the promised land. This is the true Hebrew Israelites. Okay. Yet he restored the money unto his mother, and his mother took 200 shekels of silver and gave them to the founder, who made thereof a graven image and a molten image, and they were in the house of Micah. And the man Micah had an house of gods. Look at there. He had a gods in his house. And let's look at Micah, see if he's one of the 12 tribes. I do believe he would be, but let's take a look to make sure.
Strong's H4318. Micha.
That is the original language that our English is translated from. Micah, the Ephraimite, or Ephraimite, either one. Let's see. That's where we are. Judges, I do believe. Judges 17. There's Judges 17:1 right there. All right, so let's see what the other definition. The prophet Micah. That's another Micah there. Okay, so that's not the same one, I do believe. Son of Meribal. All right. Mephibosheth. That's Chronicles, so that's not us. That's not where we are. Okay, it's another Micah. This is the one we are at. We're with right here. This is our Micah right here. Okay. So just to let you know, so just we can nail the identity down, nail it down good. Okay. He had other gods. He had a house of gods and made an ephod and teraphim, and consecrated one of his sons, who became his priest. In those days, there was no king in Israel. No king. Okay. I don't think we've had a king at all yet in our first 6 books of the Bible for Israel. But every man did that which was right in his own eyes. That's what we're getting back to today. And there was a young man out of Bethlehem, Judah, of the family of Judah. Okay, the Judah 12, one of the 12 tribes, right? Okay, good deal. Who was a Levite. He was a Levite, but he was of the family of Judah, and he sojourned there. And the man departed out of the city from Bethlehem, Judah, to sojourn where he could find a place, and he came to Mount Ephraim, to the house of Micah, as he journeyed. And Micah said unto him, Whence comest thou? And he said unto him, I am Levite of Bethlehem, Judah, and I go to sojourn where I may find a place. And Micah said unto him, Dwell with me, and be unto me a father and a priest, and I will give thee 10 shekels of silver by the year, and a suit of apparel, and thy victuals. And so the Levite went in. Victuals is food, okay? Some supper, some dinner, breakfast, lunch. Yum, yum, okay? And so he pays him well. It's going to get him some clothing and some food. And the Levite was content to do well with the man, and the young man was unto him one of his sons. And Micah consecrated the Levite, and the young man became a priest, and was in the house of Micah. Then said Micah, Now, know I that the Lord will do me good, seeing I have a Levite to my priest. Okay. Levites were, there we go. Levites were consecrated unto God. Okay. They didn't have any of the promised land. They had no lot in the promised land. Okay. But they were the Lord. The Lord was their promised land. Basically is what he said in the previous books we've looked through. All right. In those days, there was no king in Israel, and in those days, the tribe of the Danites sought them an inheritance to dwell in. Danites would be the tribe of Dan. For unto that day, all their inheritance had not fallen unto them among the tribes of Israel. And the children of Dan sent of their family 5 men from their coast, men of valor, from Zorah, and from Ishtaol to spy out the land and to search it. And they said unto them, Go search the land. Who, when they came to Mount Ephraim, to the house of Micah, they lodged there. And when they were by the house of Micah, they knew the voice of the young man and the Levite. And they turned in thither, and said unto him, Who brought thee hither? And what makest thou in this place? And what hast thou here? And he said unto them, Thus dealeth Micah with me, and hath hired me, and I am his priest. And they said unto him, Ask counsel, we pray thee of God, that we may know whether our way which we go shall be prosperous. And the priest said unto them, Go in peace before the Lord is your way wherein ye go. Then the 5 men departed and came to Laish, I don't know, and saw the people that were therein, how they dwelt careless after the manner of Zidonians, quiet and secure. Okay, very quiet people, secure people. And there was no magistrate in the land that might put them to shame in anything. And they were far from the Zidonians, and had no business with any man. And they came unto the brethren to Zorah and Ashtaol, and their brethren, and said unto them, What say ye? And they said, Arise, that we may go up against them, for we have seen the land, and behold, it is very good. And are ye still? Be not slothful to go, and to enter to possess the land. When ye go, ye shall come into a people secure, and to a large land for God. For a large land, For God hath given it into your hands, a place where there is no want of anything that is in the earth. And there went from thence the family of the Danites, out of Zorah, and out of Ishtaol, 600 men, appointed with weapons of war. And they went up and pitched in Caljathjearim. I think I've already dealt with Caljathjearim, but now they're back in there. In Judah is where they are. Wherefore they called that place Mahanadan, unto this day. Behold, it is behind Kirjathjearim. And they passed thence unto Mount Ephraim, and came unto the house of Micah. Then answered the 5 men that went out to spy the country of Laish, I'm going to call it Laish, okay? And said unto the brethren, Do ye know that there is in these houses an ephod, and teraphim, and a graven image, and a molten image? Now, therefore, consider what ye have to do. And they turned thitherward, and came to the house of the young man, the Levite, even unto the house of Micah, and saluted him. And the 600 men, appointed with their weapons of war, which were of the children of Dan, stood by entering of the gate. And the 5 men that went to spy out the land went up and came in thither, and took the graven image, and the ephod, and the teraphim, and the molten image, and the priesthood in the entering of the gate, with the 600 men that were appointed with weapons of war. And these went into Micah's house, and fetched in the carved image, the ephod, and teraphim, and the molten image. And then said the priest unto them, What do ye? And they said unto him, Hold thy peace, lay thine hand upon thy mouth, and go with us, and be to us a father and a priest. It is better for thee to be a priest unto thee, a priest unto the house of one man, or thou be a priest unto a tribe and a family in Israel. And the priest's heart was glad. And he took the ephod and the teraphim and the graven image and went into the midst of the people. So they turned and departed and put the little ones and the cattle and the carriage before them. And when they were a good way from the house of Micah, the men that were in the houses near to Micah's house were gathered together and overtook the children of Dan. Okay? So they came and got him out of Micah's house, took the goods and the kids and all that, and they cried unto the children of Dan. And they turned their faces and said unto Micah, What aileth thee, that thou comest with such a company? And he said, Ye have taken away my goods, my gods, which I made, and the priests, and ye are gone away. And what have I more? And what is this that ye say unto me? What aileth thee? And the children of Dan said unto him, Let not thy voice be heard among us, lest angry fellows run upon thee, and thou lose thy life, and the lives of thy household. And the children of Dan went their way, and when Micah saw that they were too strong for him, he turned and went back into his house. And they took the things which Micah had made, and the priests which he had came to Laish unto a people that were a quiet and secure, and they smote them with the edge of the sword and burnt the city with fire. And there was no deliverer, because it was far from Zidon, and they had no business with any man, and it was in the valley that lieth by Beth-rehob, and they built a city and dwelt therein. And they called the name of the city Dan. Okay, there's Dan, after the name of Dan, their father, who was born unto Israel, Jacob. Howbeit the name of the city was Laish at the first. And the children of Dan set up the graven image. Oh, no. And Jonathan, the son of Gershom, the son of Manasseh, he and his sons were priests to the tribe of Dan until the day of the captivity of the land. And they set them up, Micah's graven image, which he made all the time that the house of God was in Shiloh. Now, this is what's showing why Dan, this is probably where we're going to find out why Dan is not mentioned in the book of Revelation. The tribe of Dan, the 12,000, the 144,000. Well, it's 12,000 of each 12 tribes, but Dan is not mentioned. It's very well what we could be looking at right now. Very well what we could be looking at. And we're going into 19 because it's the end of 18. So we're almost there. Good deal. Almost there. Look at what we're finding out now. We're finding out the details. And it came to pass in those days, when there was no king in Israel, that was a certain Levite sojourning on the side of the Mount Ephraim, who took him to a concubine of Bethlehem, Judah. Right? And his concubine played the whore against him, and went away from him unto her father's house to Bethlehem, Judah, and was there 4 whole months. And her husband arose and went after her to speak friendly unto her, and to bring her again, having his servant with him and a couple of asses. And she brought him unto her father's house. And when the father of the damsel saw him, he rejoiced to meet him. And his father-in-law, the damsel's father, retained him, and he abode with him 3 days. So they did eat and drink and lodge there. And it came to pass on the 4th day, when they arose early in the morning, that he rose up to depart. And the damsel's father said unto his son-in-law, Comfort thine heart with a morsel of bread, and afterward go your way. And they sat down and did eat and drink, both of them together. And for the damsel's father said unto the man, Be content, I pray thee, and tarry all night, and let thine heart be merry. And when the man rose up to depart, his father-in-law urged him. Therefore he lodged there again. And he arose early in the morning on the 5th day, Okay, he keeps adding days, I guess, to depart. And the damsel's father said, comfort thine heart, I pray thee. And they tarried until afternoon, and they did eat both of them. And when the man rose up to depart, he's still trying to leave. Okay, he and his concubine and his father's servant, his father-in-law, the damsel's father, said unto him, behold, now the day draweth toward evening. I pray you, tarry all night. Behold, the day groweth to an end. Lodge here, that thine heart may be merry. And tomorrow get you early on your way, that thou mayest go home. But the man would not tarry that night, but he rose up and departed and came over against Jebus. I want to say Jebus, which is Jerusalem, right there. And there were with him 2 asses saddled. His concubine also was with him. And when they were by Jebus, which is Jerusalem, the day was far spent. And the servant said unto his master, come, I pray thee, let us turn into the city of the Jebusites and lodge in it. And the master said unto him, we will not turn aside hither into the city of a stranger that is not of the children of Israel. We will pass over to Gibeah. And he said unto his servant, come, let us draw near to one of these places to lodge all night in Gibeah or in Ramah. And they passed on and went their way, and the sun went down upon them when they were by Gibeah, which belongeth to Benjamin, tribe of Benjamin, okay? And they turned aside thither to go in and to lodge in Gibeah. And when he went in, he sat him down in a street of the city, for there was no man that took them into his house to lodging. And behold, there came an old man from his work out of the field at even, which was also of Mount Ephraim, and he sojourned in Gibeah. But the men of the place were Benjamites. The men of the place were Benjamites, okay? The tribe of Benjamin. And when he had lifted up his eyes, he saw a wayfaring man in the street of the city. And the old man said, whither goest thou? And whence comest thou? And he said unto him, we are passing from Bethlehem, Judah, toward the side of the Mount Ephraim. From thence I am, and went to Bethlehem, Judah, but I am now going to the house of the Lord, and there is no man that receiveth me to house. Yet there is both straw and provender for our asses, and there is bread and wine also for me, and for thy handmaid, and for thy young man, which is with thy servants. There is no want of anything. And the old man said, peace be with thee, whosoever. Let all thy wants lie upon me. Only lodge not in the street. Okay. So he brought him into his house and gave provender unto the asses, and they washed their feet and did eat and drink. Now, as they were making their hearts merry, behold, the men of the city, certain sons of Belial, beset the house around about and beat at the door and spake to the master of the house, the old man, saying, bring forth the man that is come into thine house, that we may, what? That we may know him. Wait a minute. This sounds like Sodom and Gomorrah. Let's see here. We're going to go into this the H3045. No.
Strong's H3045. Yadeh. Yadeh.
I'm only saying that because in Sodom and Gomorrah, when the angels came to see Lot, the men of Sodom and Gomorrah banged on Lot's door and told them, we want to know the men that have come in to see, meaning sexual. Okay? So let's see if this is what they're talking about. They wanted to have sex before we move on into the study. Because the study, the scriptures may tell us, I want Judges. We're at what, 19? So we're looking for Judges 19. Let's see if we can find it. If it's going to tell us. That's 18. Let me see. See, that's the thinking. Knowing is thinking right there. Consider. See? Okay, so we're going to go to 19. We're looking for 19. That's Judges 2. Judges 19. The men took hearken to him, that the man took his concubine. Okay, let's see. That's 19:25. That's where we are. 22. There it is. That's the one. That's the one right there. Now, as they were making their hearts merry, behold, the men of the city of the sons of Belial beset the house round about, beat on the door, and spake of the master of the house and the old man bringing forth the man that came into the house, that we may let's see, what is it? Know a person carnally of sexual intercourse, followed by an accusative, man subject right there, right? That's what they wanted to do. Man subject and object of sodomy. That's what they wanted. That's in Sodom and Gomorrah right there. Okay? Just to let you know, here's a 22 right here. Right there. See, it's right there. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to have sex with him in Judges. I thought that was done with in Sodom, but I guess there's nothing new under the sun. There you go. So they wanted to have sex with the man. Sex with it. And the man, the master of the house, went out unto them and said unto them, Nay, my brethren, nay, I pray you, do not so wickedly, seeing this man is come into mine house, do not this folly. Behold, there is my daughter, a maiden, and his concubine. Them will I bring out now, and humble ye them, and do with them what seemeth good unto you. But unto this man do not so vile thing. It's right there. Vile thing. You see that? Right there. Vile thing. So this man doesn't believe in that. He sees it's vile to him. But look at this. But the men would not hearken to him. So the man took his concubine and brought her forth unto them, and they knew her. So they did it. They did do it, and abused her all the night until the morning. And when the day began to spring, they let her go. Look at what it was to be a concubine. Po girl, po woman. Then came the woman in the dawning of the day, and fell down at the door of the man's house where her lord was, till it was light. And her lord rose up in the morning, and opened the doors of the house, and went out to go his way. And behold, the woman, his concubine, was fallen down at the door of the house, rent to pieces, probably, poor lady. And her hands were upon the threshold. And he said unto her, Up, and let us be going. What? But none answered. Then the man took her up upon an ass, a donkey, okay? And the man rose up and gat up unto his place. And when he was come into his house, he took a knife and laid hold on his concubine. What? And divided her together with her bones into 12 pieces, and sent her into all the coasts of Israel. Gosh, Lee, what is going on? This is a shocker. What in the world? Let's see. And it was so that all saw it and said, There was no such deed done, nor seen from the day that the children of Israel came up out of the land of Egypt unto this day. Consider of it, take advice, and speak your minds. I've just been thrown for a loop. Wow. The comments, post them up. I'm looking for them. Did you just see that? Okay, you're not there. Nobody's there. No problem. I just got to tell you. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. My God. Cut the girl up. She coming back to the door, trying to get, oh my God. and he just cut her into pieces. Just just what? I get, well, the concubine, I guess he does use her for what his physical purposes when he needs. But after that night, I guess she was of no more use to him. That's inhumane right there. That is inhumane. Okay? That's inhumane. Now, okay, wait a minute. There's something I need to see here. Wait a minute. Benjamin, let's see. Let me try to find it. There it is. Benjamin. Okay? And they passed on their way, and the sun went down upon them when they were by Gibeah, which is belongeth to Benjamin. Now, and they turned aside thither to go in to lodge in Gibeah. Okay, because Gibeah belongs to Benjamin. These are the Benjamites. Okay? These are the Benjamites. We're looking at, I'm trying to nail this down. And when he went in, he sat him down in the street of the city, for there was no man that took them into his house lodging. Okay? And behold, there came an old man from his work out of the field, all right, and which was also of Mount Ephraim, and he sojourned in Gibeah. But the men of the place were Benjamites. They keep telling me that, okay. And when he had lifted up his eyes, he saw a wayfaring man in the street of the city, and the old man said, "Whither goest thou?" Okay, so he's talking to the man in the street. And he said unto him, "We are passing from Bethlehem, Judah, toward the side of the Mount Ephraim. From thence am I. He's also from Ephraim, and went to Bethlehem, Judah. But now I am going to the house of the Lord, and there is no man that receiveth me into my house." This is a Wayford man talking. Okay, trying to come in, the old man. Yet there is both straw and provender for your asses, feed, or whatever, and there is bread and wine for me, and for thy handmaid, for thy young man which is with thy servants, there is no want of anything. And the old man said, "Peace be with thee. Howsoever, let all thy wants lie upon me. Only lodge not in the street." Okay, so he's inviting him in. This man, okay? Now the Benjamites are the ones that want this man, okay? This evidently, we're dealing with the man in the street. We're dealing with the old man that lets him in. We're dealing with the men of the Benjamin, the Benjamites. And we're dealing with the concubine, okay? Now as they were making their hearts merry, behold, the men of the city, certain sons of, wait a minute, Belial. So let's see this. Certain sons. Let's take a look at that. That's what I want to nail down. Who is this Belial guy? The internet must be acting crazy today. As we know, there's plenty of attacks going on and cyber stuff going on. Let's see. So let's see. Here it is.
Strong's H 1100. Belial. Belial.
Not good. These guys are not good deal. Who is Belial? Let's see. Worthless. Okay. Without worth. Let's see. Being useless, good for nothing. That's it. That's it. It's not giving me anything else there. Of who they are from. Who is these guys? Who are they descendants of? Excuse me. They're destroyer. Okay, they're nothing. Let's see what the concordance might say. They're worthless, considered by destruction below. That's what they are. Okay, that's a name for men there. Maybe, hopefully they're not descendants of Benjamin. beset the house round about and beat the door and spake the master of the house. Okay, bring out. Okay, so we know it doesn't tell us these type of men, but they're in the city of Benjamin. Okay, so there you go. So I had to take a pause. I had to go back and see if it was going to tell me, but it didn't. So now, here we go. Then all the children of Israel went out, and the congregation was gathered together as one man from Dan, all right, even to Beersheba, with the land of Gilead unto the Lord in Mizpah. And the chief of all the people, even of all the tribes of Israel, presented themselves in the assembly of the people of God, 400,000 footmen that drew sword. Now the children of Benjamin, okay, heard that the children of Israel were gone up to Mizpah. Then said to the children of Israel, tell us how was this wickedness? And the Levite, the husband of the woman that was slain, okay, she was actually a wife of a Levite. Or, well, concubine, we could say that. I don't think he was married, though, if I don't remember correctly. But anyway, answered, okay, and that was slain, answered and said, I came to Gibeah, that belonging to Benjamin, and I and my concubine to lodge. And the men of Gibeah rose against me and beset the house round about upon me by night, and thought to have slain me and my concubine have they forced, that she is dead. And I took my concubine and cut her in pieces and sent her throughout all the country of the inheritance of Israel, for they have committed lewdness and folly in Israel. Okay, so he's telling it. He's telling it. The children of Israel did it. They committed it. Behold, ye are all children of Israel. Give here your advice and counsel. And all the people arose as one man, saying, we will not any of us go to his tent, neither will we any of us turn into his house. But now this shall be the thing which we will do to Gibeah. We will go up by lot against it, and we will take 10 men of 100 throughout all the tribes of Israel, and 100 of 1,000, and 1,000 of 10,000 to fetch victual for thy people. And they may do, when they come to Gibeah of Benjamin, according to all the folly that they have wrought in Israel. Ooh. This is gonna be a battle. Okay, Israel basically going, Levite and went, and he done told them what they did. The Benjamin tribe did. Shouldn't have done it. And so all the men of Israel were gathered against the city. So he sent it out to everybody else. He sent her pieces of her body and to tell them what they did. So all the men of Israel were gathered against the city, knit together as one man. And the tribes of Israel sent men through all of the tribe of Benjamin, saying, what wickedness is it that is done among you? Yep, just like I thought. They did it. Now therefore deliver us the men, the children of Belial, which are in Gibeah, that we may put them to death and put away evil from Israel. But the children of Benjamin would not hearken unto the voice of the brethren, the children of Israel. And the children of Benjamin gathered themselves together out of the cities unto Gibeah to go out to battle against the children of Edom, fighting against each other. And the children of Benjamin were numbered at that time out of the cities 26,000 men, and drew sword beside the inhabitants of Gibeah, which were numbered 700 chosen men. Wow, that's an outnumbering. That's a serious outnumbering there. Among all this people, there were 700 chosen men, only 700 against 26,000. All right, left-handed. Southpaws. Everyone could sling stones at an hair breadth and not miss. They were very accurate with a sling. And the men of Israel, beside Benjamin, were numbered 400,000 men that drew sword. All these were men of war. They were very skilled in this warring. And the children of Israel arose and went up to the house of God and asked counsel of God and said, which of us shall go up first to the battle against the children of Benjamin? And the Lord said, Judah. Woo! He calls on Judah. He said, Judah shall go up first. And the children of Israel rose up in the morning and encamped against Gibeah. And the men of Israel went out to the battle against Benjamin, and the men of Israel put themselves in array to fight against them at Gibeah, I would say. And the children of Benjamin came forth out of Gibeah and destroyed down to the ground of the Israelites that day 22,000 men. They did it. Wow. And the men of Israel encouraged themselves and set their battle again in array in the place where they put themselves in array the first day. And the children of Israel went up and wept before the Lord until eve, and asked counsel of the Lord, saying, shall I go up again to battle against the children of Benjamin, my brother? And the Lord said, go up against him. And the children of Israel came near against the children of Benjamin the second day. And Benjamin went forth against them out of Gibeah the second day, and destroyed down to the ground the children of Israel again, 18,000 men. All these drew the sword. Then all the children of Israel and all the people went up and came unto the house of God and wept, and sat there before the Lord, and fasted that day until even, and offered burnt offerings and peace offerings before the Lord. And the children of Israel inquired of the Lord of the ark of the covenant, and God was there in those days. Okay. In those days then, okay. And Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, okay, stood before it in those days, saying, shall I yet again go out to battle against the children of Benjamin, my brother, or shall I cease? And the Lord said, go up, for tomorrow I will deliver them into thine hand. And Israel set liers in wait around about Gibeah. And the children of Israel went up against the children of Benjamin on the third day, and put themselves in array against Gibeah, as at other times. And the children of Benjamin went out against the people, and were drawn away from the city, and they began to smite of the people and kill as at other times in the highways, of which one goeth up to the house of God, and the other to Gibeah in the field, about 30 men of Israel. And the children of Benjamin said, they are smitten down before us as at the first. But the children of Israel said, let us flee and draw them from the city unto the highways. And all the men of Israel rose up out of their place and put themselves in array at Baal-Tamar. And the liers in wait of Israel came forth out of the places, even out of the meadows of Gibeah. Got the trap going. And there came against Gibeah 10,000 chosen men of all Israel, and the battle was sore. But they knew not that evil was near them. And the Lord smote Benjamin before Israel. And the children of Israel destroyed of the Benjamites that day 25,000 and 100 men. All these drew the sword. So the children of Benjamin saw that they were smitten, and the men of Israel gave place to the Benjamites, because they trusted unto the liers in wait. which they had set beside Gibeah. And the liers in wait hasted and rushed upon Gibeah. And the liers in wait drew themselves along and smote all the city with the edge of the sword. Now there was an appointed sign between the men of Israel and the liers in wait, that they should make a great flame with smoke rise up out of the city. And when the men of Israel retired in the battle, Benjamin began to smite and kill of the men of Israel about 30 persons. For they said, surely they are smitten down before us, as in the first battle. But when the flame began to rise up out of the city with a pillar of smoke, the Benjamites looked behind them, and behold, the flame of the city was ascending up to heaven. When the men of Israel turned again, the men of Benjamin were amazed, for they saw that evil was come upon them. Therefore they turned their backs before the men of Israel unto the way of the wilderness, but the battle overtook them, and they came out of the cities, and them which came out of the cities, they destroyed in the midst of them. He caused them to, the Lord God caused them to take their attention off the fight, turn around and look at the fire. Thus they enclosed the Benjamites around about, and chased them, and trode them down with ease over against Gibeah toward the sunrising. And there fell Benjamin 18,000 men. All these were men of valor. And they turned and fled toward the wilderness unto the rock of Rimmon. And they gleaned of them in the highways 5,000 men, and pursued after them to get them. All right, to get them, and slew 2,000 men of them. So that which fell that day of Benjamin were 25,000 men that drew the sword. All these were men of valor. But 600 men turned and fled into the wilderness unto the rock Rimmon, and abode in the rock Rimmon 4 months. And the men of Israel turned again upon the children of Benjamin, and smote them with the edge of the sword, as well the men of every city as the beast, and all that came to hand. Also they set fire all the cities that they came to. Well, 12, the tribes against tribes. Tribes against tribe. Hebrew Israelites. This is what happened with them. And they wanted to do horrible, vile acts to men. As you can see, this has just jumped all off. It's how it all started. And the Levite man, the Levite priest, took his wife, took his wife that they had rent all night. They had just, he cut her into 12 pieces. 12, notice that. 12 pieces. Sent her out. Sent each piece to one of those other tribes or other peoples, and let them know what happened. This is the last chapter. This is the last chapter. All right. Now the man of Israel had sworn in Mizpah, saying, there shall not any of us give his daughter to Benjamin to wife. Wow. We're going to cut you off, bruh. You're going to have to marry some strange wives. We're cutting you off. You're too vile. You're too vile. And the people came to the house of God and abode there till even before God had lifted up their voices and wept sore. And said, O Lord God of Israel, why is this come to pass in Israel, that there should be today one tribe lacking in Israel? And it came to pass on the morrow that the people rose early and built there an altar and offered burnt offerings and peace offerings. And the children of Israel said, who is there among all the tribes of Israel that came not up with the congregation unto the Lord? For they had made a great oath concerning him that came not up to the Lord to Mizpah, saying, he shall surely be put to death. And the children of Israel repented them for Benjamin, their brother, and said, there is one tribe cut off from Israel this day. How shall we do this? How shall we do for our wives for them that remain? Seeing we have sworn by the Lord that we will not give them of our daughters to wives. And they said, that one is what one is there of the tribes of Israel that came not up to Mizpah to the Lord? And behold, there came none to the camp from Jabesh Gilead to the assembly, for the people were numbered, and behold, there were none of the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead there. And the congregation sent thither 12,000 men of the valiantest, and commanded them, saying, go and smite the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead with the edge of the sword, with the women and the children. Wow. And this is the thing that they shall do. Ye shall utterly destroy every male and every woman and that hath lain by man. And they found among the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead 400 young virgins that had not known no man by laying with any male. And they brought them unto the camp in Shiloh, which is in the land of Canaan. And the whole congregation sent some to speak to the children of Benjamin that were in the rock of Rimmon, and to call peaceably unto them. And Benjamin came again at that time, and they gave them wives which they had saved alive of the women of Jabesh Gilead. And yet so they sufficed them not. But the people repented them for Benjamin, because that the Lord had made a breach in the tribes of Israel. And the elders of the congregation said, how shall we do for wives for them that remain, seeing the women are destroyed out of Benjamin? And they said, there must be an inheritance for them that escaped of Benjamin, that a tribe be not destroyed out of Israel. Howbeit, we may not give them wives of our daughters, for the children of Israel have sworn, saying, cursed be he that giveth a wife to Benjamin. Then they said, behold, there is a feast of the Lord in Shiloh, yearly in a place which is on the north side of Bethel, on the east side of the highway that goeth up from Bethel to Shechem, on the south side of Lebanah. Therefore they commanded the children of Benjamin, saying, go and lie in wait in the vineyards, and see and behold of the daughters of Shiloh come out to dance in dances. Then come ye out of the vineyards, and catch ye you every man his wife of the daughters of Shiloh, and go to the land of Benjamin. And it shall be then their fathers or their brethren come unto us to complain, that we will say unto them, be favorable unto them for our sakes, because we reserved not to teach a man his wife in the war, for ye did not give unto them at this time that ye should be guilty. And the children of Benjamin did also, and took them wives according to their number of them that danced, whom they caught. And they went and returned unto their inheritance, and repaired the cities, and dwelt in them. And the children of Israel departed thence at that time, every man to his tribe and his family, and they went out from thence every man to his inheritance. In those days there was no king in Israel. Every man did that which was right in his own eyes. So Benjamin is restored, basically. slowly but surely. What's our next book? I do believe it's going to be Ruth. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to be we'll study into that next time. If not, we don't do another study. I don't even know why I closed that. Anyway, but it's it. That's the deal. You see what happened there. Maybe you learned something. Maybe you got some information that you didn't know about. But we're 5 minutes shy of an hour, so I'm gonna jump out of here, guys. Thank you for watching this. Share it, like it, totally up to you. Subscribe and hit the bell notification, let you know when we do studies. Remember, there's no tithing, seed sowing, no products sold here, no money, none of that, period. Just to let you know. So I hope to see you in the next study. But hey, I'm rocked and shocked on this. I had no idea that they turned against one another and fought. But now we see that they did. Why? Because Benjamin was vile. That's why. Pass it on. I'll see you on the next study.
Please allow us to extend our deepest thanks, our humblest appreciation, our greatest gratitude for your fellowship here with us, sharing the letter of the gospel, the ancient definitions of Scripture. This is Understanding the Bible.